This video is about solving system of equations using two methods, so let's begin. Now, the first method we're going to go over is called the elimination method. And in this method, we're going to be adding the two equations together, right? So in the first example, we have the two equations 5x minus 8y equals 13 and 9x plus 8y equals 1. So we're going to add these two equations together. So 5x plus 9x equals 14x. Negative 8y plus 8y is 0, right? So this cancels out. And 13 plus 1 equals 14. So when solving for x, we're going to get x equals 1, right? We divided each side by 14. Now that we solved one of the variables, we can now plug in this new value right here, x equals 1, into one of the equations. So I'm going to substitute 1 for x in the first equation. So I'm going to get 5 multiplied by 1 minus 8y equals 13. Now 5 multiplied by 1 is just 5, so I'm just going to skip that step showing that. And I'm going to subtract each side by 5. So I'm going to get negative 8y equals 13 minus 5 is 8. Now we have the equation negative 8y equals 8. So I'm going to divide each side by negative 8 to solve for y. So we're going to get y equals negative 1. Right? So now we solved the system of equation. Putting it into coordinate form, we're going to get x equals 1 and y equals negative 1. Or you can just write each variable on its own, x equals 1 and y equals negative 1. And that's your answer. Now on to the second example, we have 8x plus 4y equals 4 and 2x minus 12y equals negative 25. Now since here no term or no variable has the same coefficient, we're going to try and get the top equation right here, the top x, to be negative 2x to make it easier for ourselves. So by doing so, I'm going to divide each side by negative 4 or multiply by negative 1 over 4, right? So my new equation for this, I'm just simplifying it. I'm going to get negative 2x minus y equals negative 1, and then the bottom equation stays the same, 2x minus 12y equals negative 25, and I'm still going to add them, right? So negative 2x plus x, remember that cancels out, so that's just 0, and then negative y plus minus 12y is negative 13y, and negative 1 plus negative 25 equals negative 26, right? So when simplifying, we're going to divide each side by negative 13, and so negative 26 divided by negative 13 is just 2. So we have y equals 2. Now, what we can do is we can substitute y into one of the equations. So I'm going to do the top equation because you know that the leading coefficient is smaller, so it's going to be a little easier. So we're going to have 8x plus 4 multiplied by 2 equals 4, right? Simplifying that, we're going to get 8x plus 8 equals 4, which is then 8x equals, I'm going to subtract each side by 8, so 8x equals negative 4, and I'm going to divide each side by 8 now, so we're going to get x equals negative 1 over 2, right? Because negative 4 divided by 8 is negative 1 over 2. Now putting that into coordinate form, we're going to get 1 over 2 and 2. Or putting it separately, x equals negative 1 over 2 and y equals 2, right? So this would be our answer using the elimination method. Now, the next method right here, it's called the substitution method, right? And this method, we're going to substitute one of the equations into the other, right? So we have the equations y equals 4x minus 2 and 2x plus y equals 4. So notice how we have y and y, right? So I'm going to substitute this equation, equation 1, into equation 2, right? So what I'm going to get is 2x plus, right, I'm going to substitute this value right here for y, plus 4x minus 2 equals 4, right? Now simplifying this side, we're going to get 6x minus 2 equals 4, right? And then I'm going to add 2 to each side. We're going to get 6x equals 6, meaning x equals 1. Right, so now that we solved for one of the variables, so variable x, we can substitute that back into another equation to solve for y. So since I know I have just y equals, I'm going to use that one. So y equals 4 multiplied by 1 minus 2. Right, simplifying that, we're going to get y equals 4 multiplied by 1 is 4. Subtract 2 from that, y equals 2. Right, so our answer, let me just bring it up here, in coordinate forms would be 1, 2, or x equals 1 and y equals 2. Right? Moving on to our next example, we have the equations 2x minus 4y equals 8 and y equals x minus 6. So notice I have y equals, so now we can use that and substitute it into the first equation. So I'm going to put this right here, right? So I'm going to have 2x minus 4. I'm going to substitute y, which is equal to x minus 6, and that equals 8, right? I have 2x, and I'm going to expand this right here, this term. So negative 4 multiplied by x is minus 4x, and negative 4 multiplied by negative 6 is positive 24 equals 8. Right? Simplifying, we're going to get negative 2x. I'm going to subtract 24 from each side. So 8 minus 24 is negative 16. So now I'm going to divide each side by negative 2. So we're going to get x equals negative 16 divided by negative 2 is 8. Right? So now that we solved for x, we can now use that term, or that coefficient, and we can substitute it into one of the equations to solve for y. So now we're going to have the equation y equals 8 minus 6. Right? I substitute 8 for x, and I use the second equation. Getting that, we're going to get y equals 2. So those are our answers. And in coordinate form, we're going to get 8 and 2. And separately, we're going to get x equals 8 and y equals 2. So now we covered the elimination method and the substitution method. If you guys have any questions, please leave a comment or let me know. And I hope you like this video and subscribed and found it useful. Thank you for watching.